I'm live. Sweet. Okay. I'm back, everybody. All 6 of you who may be jumping in here. I think it's going. Are you going? How do I get to... Wait. Go there. Go to... I honestly don't know. Your channel, YouTube, Switch account, sign out. Show me my things. Show me my things. Show me my things. How do I get to... Bam, your channel. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's go to trending live. There we go. Nope, not that. Oh, that's where I go. YouTube Studio. Bam. All right. Hello, Deck P. Sorry. I am just falling apart here. Okay. Go to analytics. Is that where we're going? Are we... Shit. Sorry, I'm trying to get my... Trying to figure out, create, go live. Is that working? There we go. That's what we wanted. Ha! Now I got my chat back. Okay. There it is. All right. I got 5 of you back, so there we go. It's a little intimate setting right now. Feels cozy, right? Welcome. Michael O'Hara, I missed the rant. Please start over. I was pointing out, because Pulse Waves was like, you're an idiot. You probably get your news from CNN and think that there was no violence caused by Antifa during the BLM riots. And I was pointing out that most of the violence was coming from white supremacists. Trump security chief acknowledges role white supremacist extremists played in U.S. urban violence. It's in 2020. So I put this sucker into the chat. Bam, bam. Most of the violence that happened was actually from white supremacists and Boogaloo boys and people adjacent to these far-right movements. So that's just truth. Like, cops are getting killed by white supremacists. Fires are being set at police stations and businesses and courthouses by these Nazis. So yeah, that's just the way it was. So the entire point was this false flag. I mean, it's what Russia does all the time, right? Like, Russia just claimed, Ukraine flew drones to try to assassinate our president. And they provided the crappiest video showing men already on top of the building ready to put out the fire when they blew up the drones. It was a total false flag. Russia loves their false flags. And these same Nazi chuds, they'll do false flags all day long. They'll do false flags. You know, they'll shoot up the power stations across the country because they read some stupid Nazi fantasy book. Oh, we'll start the race war by shooting up power stations. And then they get arrested. They're like, how dare you? It was the Antifa that did it. Like, come on, man. Like, you did it. You did it. It was you. January 6th, it was all Antifa. No, it was a bunch of chodes from the Proud Boys and everything else. Just over and over and over again. It's the same losers doing the same thing. And when they get caught, they're like, how did I get caught? Because your cell phone was there, you dumbass. And you were on video. Okay. Murdoch Von Doom, Houston, who was the CEO that whipped T-Mobile into shape a couple years ago. It was Legere. John Legere? Was that his name? John Legere? I think that was his name. Yeah, John Legere. This dude. He was the dude. Got T-Mobile. T-Mobile was failing miserably. He came in, kicked ass, took names, and absolutely turned them super profitable. So he previously AT&T, Dell, Global Crossing. Resigned CEO following approval merger of T-Mobile and Sprint. So once he got T-Mobile and Sprint merged and T-Mobile became like the second largest carrier or whatever, he was like, did my job, I'm out. Boom. Well, I might be retired now. 64. He's still young in CEO terms. But he might be retired. I mean, he might be one of those dudes who's like, hey, I made $1 billion. I'm out. Career. Legere announced via Twitter he would be stepping down as CEO of T-Mobile. His current contract expires. And yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's just like, he's enjoying his money and living his life. It's the most you can ask for when it comes to being a gajillionaire CEO is that you go, you know what? I'm 64. I don't have much of my life left. I've got billions of dollars. I'm going to go enjoy it. Go enjoy it. By all means, every last one of you, you get $1 gajillion. Go enjoy it. Why punch a clock? I don't understand people who want to punch a clock. Go. Live that Playboy lifestyle. Drive a Ferrari Monaco. Sit on private islands. Do your things. The internet seemed to be working all right. I did it. Nope. The internet's still terrible. Crap. The internet's pissing me off. Now it says excellent connection. It's a liar. It's a dirty rat liar is what it is. So, now it's back down to being terrible again. I don't know what to do. Comcast just sucks so much. Okay. Len Hernandez, hi Monkey Butt, treats all around. Monkey Butt already got TREATs already. Her belly's happy. She doesn't need any more. Okay, Deck P, what's the bets that Putin cancels May 8th parade? Close to one. They've canceled in 20 cities across the country already. I think a large reason why they're canceling the Victory Day parades, the May 8th parades, is because they don't have anything for the parades. They've destroyed like every piece of machinery in the country, and there's nothing left that could be in a parade. So like, oh, the terrorists might blow it up. But in reality, like they don't have a tank they can roll through town and have everyone go, oh, look at the tank. Because their turret blasted 900 feet in the air and ended up a quarter mile away from where it originally was. And is in some field in Ukraine right now. I think that's a big reason why they're canceling everything. They might have some in and around Moscow they can still use. But for the most part, I don't think they have any anymore. Bravo Delta, sorry I just got here. Did you discuss Ukrainian drone versus Kremlin? Not a Ukrainian drone. Definitely was not a Ukrainian drone. It's false flag. Russia loves their false flags. There's just no. The Ukrainians did not target. They're not going to hit an administration building in the middle of the night with a drone to try to assassinate Putin. A, Putin is in a bunker at all times. B, Putin's not there at 2 o'clock in the morning. C, a little drone like that is not going to assassinate anybody. So, no, it's total false flag. Like, you should watch the video. There's dudes climbing up the ladder of the dome with fire retardant, with flame fire extinguishers, ready to go for when they zap the drone, they can put the fire out immediately. It is a total false flag operation. Russia absolutely loves them. They want to blame everyone for things they do themselves. When there was that horrible, horrible, horrible incident where the Chechen rebels had taken over that school and they killed like 350 school children back in 1999, that was when Putin was in charge of the FSB and he killed those 350 kids to blame the Chechens so they could just wipe out Chechnya. It's all false flags. The bombing that happened to the car in Donetsk, that was like of the military leader of the militia in Donetsk. It was a false flag. They put a license plate on a cheap $2,000 car and not on the $100,000 car the general actually drove around, and blew that up. Like, look what the Ukrainians did. No, the Ukrainians didn't blow up the car, cheap $2,000 car. They just didn't. The Nord Stream pipeline explosion, that was totally the Russians. Totally the Russians. So I don't know, like, they're like, oh, Americans did it, and now all this data is coming out that there's like 9 Russian ships and their submersibles were all hovering around the Nord Stream pipeline. They blew it up because what they wanted Was they wanted Germany to go, oh no, we aren't getting natural gas. We're going to freeze to death this winter. We have to eliminate sanctions so we can repair this pipeline. And then when the Germans were like, well, we'll probably get enough gas from overseas, the Russians were like, ah, shit. And then ended up being a warm winter, and they got flooded with liquid natural gas. The gas prices are actually below where they were at the start of the war. Oops. Now the Russians are like, well, now I don't have a market, and our pipeline's ruined. Shit. But they're selling boatloads of stuff to the Indians right now, so yeah. Len Hernandez tried to stick out being on Twitter to Moas, but closed my account today. The toxicity is insane. Yeah, that is true. I have one friend who got through on Blue Sky, and she has promised me when she gets her access code in 2 weeks, she's going to send me an invite. I am on the waiting list. I was on the waiting list like 8 months ago, and I never got an invite to Blue Sky. But I'm going to give that a whirl and see if things are different over there. Right now, it seems to be much more like it's curated. So there's a lot of just hilarious shit posters on there, and I just love myself some good shit posters. And that they are giving their friends access codes. So right now, it's a one big happy family. It's not full of a bunch of like reactionary weirdo white supremacist dudes like with blue checks like are all over Twitter right now. I mean, seriously, you get a cool news story comes up and you go check the replies, and it's just dumbass take after dumbass take with these blue checks for just miles, and you gotta scroll past them all or block them all before you get to like an actual human being who has an opinion worth anything. It makes the site incredibly hard to use. It's just that still that's where the bulk of people are. But maybe we get the bulk of cool people over to another platform. A-okay. Want to cosplay Max Headroom is fine by us. Yeah. PG Sunday. Wait, I thought the Wagners were pulling out of Bakhmut. They are. They said they're pulling out on the 10th. Now, are they really pulling out on the 10th, or are they doing a feint, as people always say they are? But right now, the Wagner group doesn't have any bullets. Pergrotzen, whatever you say that guy's name, he's made like 10 videos last week basically saying, send me bullets, or we're going to turn around and we're going to coup. He did one yesterday where he's standing over the bodies of like hundreds of Wagner dead. It's pretty gruesome. He's like, look what you're doing. You're not sending me enough bullets so I can finish this job. But Russia doesn't have any bullets. So like he can beg as much as he wants for bullets. Russia doesn't have any. They do not have the manufacturing capacity to make any more bullets. The bullets are gone. That's it. They just don't have them. They're firing fake rockets into Ukraine from their very expensive jets because they don't have warheads for them. So they're just hoping to like waste anti-aircraft munitions from the Ukrainians because they don't have any explosives left. They ain't got none. Overwhelmed, grainy lacquered. Overwhelmed, grainy lacquered. Is that a place you want me to go to, PG Sunday? And is it going to be the fucking Eye of Africa again? Let's find out, shall we? Okay, here we are next to New Caledonia. What was this? 3 words, right? 3 words. 3 words.com. What was it? I can't remember now. I totally lost it. What was it called? No. Can I go here? There. That's where we want. What 3 words? That's what it was. What 3 words? Okay. And not on Google Earth. I have the wrong thing up here. It's not Google Earth. I can turn Google Earth off. And I've got to go to what 3 words? Control V. Overwhelm, grainy lacquered. Yes. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Where are we? We are, looks like a flow. we're in a landslide in a giant mine. Which mine is this? This is, where are we? Oh, Papua. We're on the Papua side, Indonesia. On the Indonesian side of Papua New Guinea, we're in a giant mine. That is a hell of a landslide. Holy smokes! Look at that thing. Wow, that's a big pit. That's a very big pit. So if I bring up Google Earth, that can give us a little more in-depth info as to where we're gonna go here. Google Earth. I get across this way. Papua New Guinea. Where was that mine? Is it here? Yeah, right here. So this is the Grasberg mine. So the bottom of it's at 11,000 feet. Holy smokes. The top of it is at 13. This is a top of a huge mountain. Dang, man. They removed a mountaintop that was at 14,000 feet or so to make this thing. Grasberg mine. Grasberg mine, one of the largest reserves of gold and copper in the world, is located in Mimika Regency, central Papua, Indonesia, near Panchayat. It's operated by Pt2 Freeport Industries. So this is one of the Freeport mines we're talking about in Papua New Guinea. Does it have? How many ounces? 89,000 pounds of copper. That's 2002 production. 2020 production. 26.4, 848,000 ounces of gold. What's total lifetime production? I want to know. Tell me the total production. Tell me how many ounces done over the years. I like to know big numbers. How many millions of ounces? If it's doing 800,000 ounces a year, almost a million a year, that's a lot. That's like the entire state of Nevada does about a million a year. Look at this thing. Just look at that. It used to be a jagged peak. Some of these peaks up here are huge. This is like mining out the top of Mount Rainier. That's what this is like. Just crazy. Being at the top of the world along the equator, just nuts. So, back to Google Earth. I want to know about the landslide because this is unreal. There's likely lots of machinery buried down there. Because I don't see, when's this picture from? Does it say? It's from 2021. It's when this picture is from. That was 2 years ago. Lots of stuff going on up here. But my goodness, that landslide's crazy. I'll go back to this again. Tell me about the history of landslide. Can you tell me about the landslide? Identified reserves at $40 billion in 1988. No, remember, 10x that. That's $400 billion in gold in today's dollars. Dang. Winding road. Doesn't say anything about a giant landslide. Expired years time, 2021, 20 years further. Mine workings undergoes crushing the mine for. Tell me about your landslide. I want to know. Environmental damage, landscape reclamation projects got the mine, environmental groups, local citizens, blah blah blah. Groundwater, probably just sulfuric acid like crazy. There's a tax on the mine. 2003 landslide killed 8 workers. Okay. 2013 roof collapse killed a bunch of people. Trapped 38 workers, only 10 survived. Ouch. Lots of strikes. Nothing about a landslide recently. That's definitely older than 2003 or newer than 2003. I wonder. Interesting. Okay. J. Seymour Hersh says the U.S. did the pipeline. Seymour Hersh is full of shit. The U.S. did not blow up the pipeline. That was definitely the Russians. Doesn't serve the U.S. any benefit to blow up the pipeline because Russia was going to get cut off eventually anyway. Russia did it. Russia always did it. There's so much evidence coming out now, just from the Dutch and Danish intelligence services. Like, no, look, these Russian ships were hanging out right over the pipeline with their submarines. There's no U.S. ships that were near it. enough where the explosions happened. It's Russians. Michael O'Hara, I need Putin to blow up my cheap old $200 car so I could hopefully collect money for insurance to get a cheap $2,000 car. Andrew Dowell, I understand your hate for racists. My brother went down that road, fell out with him over 10 years ago. Haven't spoken to him since. He's just not a nice guy. It happens, man. And I come from a family where a third of us are white, a third of us are Asian mixed, a third of us are black and black mixed. And, my oldest brother didn't go to my sister's wedding because she was marrying a black man. We don't really talk to him anymore. So what can you do with that? We don't understand why he has these feelings. We don't understand where it came from. He was never raised that way. I don't get it. My dad tells a story. My dad's old. My dad's 86. He tells a story about being a kid, grew up in Norfolk, Virginia. His parents, they use the N-word a lot. They're kind of racist, just a bit. He's like 15 or 16, and he comes home, and his parents are like in the living room with another couple, and they're just having drinks and chatting, and this black family started going to their church, and they're just like, oh, eventually they'll learn and they'll leave the church, and everything will be all right. And my dad, being a teenager, is like, what do you mean, like eventually they'll leave the church and everything will be all right? Like, I go to church and they teach me in Sunday school that everyone is a child of God. Aren't they also a child of God? And his parents like, oh, Johnny, when you're older, you'll understand. And as my dad's telling the story, he's probably like 84 at the time. And he's like, I'm 84 years old. I still don't understand. I'm older than either of them ever were in their lives. And I still don't understand what they're talking about. That's just like, I can just imagine their heads would have exploded had they known that their son married a Japanese woman and has some mongrel child who's half Japanese, or their granddaughter married a black man. Oh my God. Like, just glad they're gone. We don't need that. We don't need that in our lives, man. Just loving people. We need loving people in our lives. And I really hope that all of you can have loving people in your lives. They can accept you for how you were born, for the love you choose in your life, for how you decide to live your life in a way that fits best for you, in a way that doesn't harm others. I want that for everyone. I want that for all of you. And if you have to cut people out of your life because they're toxic and they're bad and they're evil, it sucks. But you know what? You deserve it. You deserve to live your best life and not be bogged down with shitbags who are there to just poo on your parade all day long, man. Just live a good life. Live your best life without the shitbags in it. And if they can't understand that's who you are and the dignity you deserve in your life and the compassion and love and empathy and everything else that you give out and deserve, well, fuck them. Life's too short to have to deal with that crap. You just gotta be like, you know what? I choose to accept a different family. I'll embrace other people in my life and just don't need to put up with that crap. You can change your ways and accept me for the life I live. And, but I don't need to change who I am to accept you being a piece of shit. That's what it should come down to. Expit, U.S. leaked documents suggest Ukraine was most likely responsible for the assassination of Daria Dugina in Moscow. Ukraine are not as innocent, Western media makes out. But, like, Daria Dugina, she's a war criminal. So, like, assassinating terrible people who are invading your country, those things are okay. It's not bad. Like, assassinating somebody who's a war criminal, in a war, not such a bad thing to do, right? Like, why is Russia allowed to invade Ukraine, but Ukraine is not allowed to do anything to Russia? That's a double standard. All is fair in love and war. Ukrainians, in my opinion, Give the Ukrainians all the M1s. Give them all the Bradleys. Give them all the F-16s. Give them the Atacans and the HIMARS and fucking give them everything. And be like, you know what? We're going to march to Moscow. Let them do it. I don't give a shit. Give them a couple of nuclear warheads too. Be like, you know what? Here's a couple of nuclear warheads. Threaten Russia with those. See what happens. You know, be like, you know, if Russia keeps invading, we may have to wipe a city off the map. Just saying. All's fair in love and war, dude. Like, Dugina, she's a piece of shit. And you know what? Yeah, she got assassinated. But it's interesting that her dad put her in his car and he got into her car. So it's probably that he was supposed to be assassinated. Either way, the dude, his daughter dies. He's like, oh well, moving on. Like he had no emotion whatsoever. It's like, oh yeah, she's dead. Anyway, what are you guys doing tomorrow? That's kind of his response to the whole thing. It shows you just the parental love that a lot of these folks had growing up. Just absolutely mesmerizing. Andrew Colieber, are you planning to keep broadcasting during MOAS? If yes, would you keep MFW or switch to daily? Things might be different when MOAS is happening. I will be like, calling sick, guys. If that's the case, I will be around. Now, post MOAS, depending on how much moolah Houston has, Houston may take some weeks or months to just do stuff other than YouTube. So, that might happen. If Houston gets enough cashola in his pocket, you may just see little video updates of me in cool places around the world with monkey butt, right? Hiking mountains, smashing things, camping all over. Dennis Sullivan need to sleep. Everyone needs to sleep at some point. Vivek Ramaswamy has asked who he would select as VP if he were to win. He said he would pick someone like Robert Kennedy Jr. Vivek would demolish Trump and Biden in a debate if he made it that far. Maybe. But also he's basing his entire campaign on hating black people. That's sort of a scapegoat for everything he is like, well, black people are terrible. And that's why America's awful. You have to get rid of the black people. That's kind of his how he's playing to the base. And that doesn't fly with a lot of folks. He might be smooth and polished and speak quickly, but in the end, he's kind of racist. And that's the base they're going for. That's the base that everyone seems to be going for. Is like, if you want to win the Republican base, you have to be pretty racist. Straight up. And a lot of people are Republicans and you're like, how dare you? I'm not racist. But look at how they campaign. They campaign geared towards the racist because they're the bulk of the Republican voters in the primaries. If 50% of your party is racist and the 50% isn't, but most people who participate in the primaries are of that far-right racist stuff, you're going to cater to them because they're going to get you the nomination. Now, after the nomination, you're going to have to whoa, slow your roll. I can't say all these things. Just look at, who's that Blake dude that chud in Arizona who was Peter Thiel's selected governor candidate Senate candidate in Arizona? Blake Masters. Blake Masters is a white supremacist. He's straight up white supremacist, anti-abortion, all that stuff. He went so far to the right during the primaries, won the primary, and the minute the primary was over, he was like, I never said I was against abortion. Yes, you did. You spent your entire campaign saying you were going to make abortion illegal in Arizona. I would never. How dare you accuse me of that? So it's just how they roll. I mean, even people on the left, they'll say, oh, we're going to do national health care and all these things. And then they get the nomination and all of a sudden you won't hear a peep out of them about national health care anymore. They do the same thing. It's just the difference is like saying you're for national health care is a good thing. Saying you're for dehumanizing entire swaths of population is not a good thing. So, which way do you want your person leaning when it comes down to that? Brad B. Houston ever on Superstunk over the past year. A lot of the posts and comments seem coordinated. It feels like it's full of shills. Superstunk is definitely full of shills. So is Wall Street Bets. I mean, the dude who's the main editor at Wall Street Bets works for Citadel. So, like, the main mod is a Citadel employee. I don't spend too much time on there. When interesting articles pop up, people send them to me and I give them a read. But I don't really scroll through because it's just I got so much time in the day and I have to read a lot. And if I tried, I'll be honest, if I'm trying to look for information, like just see what's out there, I end up not being able to respond to DMs or emails or Twitter posts or whatever things get tagged in. That's a large chunk of my day is responding to everyone. I try to respond to every single solitary person who writes me. Even the people who write me are like, I'm going to kill you. I'll still send them a note, be like, love to hear from you. Come on by. We'll be ready. But I try my best to respond to every single solitary person who writes me. I don't know if, my channel has not exploded beyond the 21,000 subscribers I have, or 7,000, whatever, Twitter followers. So it's still manageable. And I'm sure if I was at where Trades was with 1 million subscribers and stuff, there'd be no way to follow up on everybody. I just physically wouldn't be able to do it. So I'm still in like that comfort zone where I can respond to everyone who wants to reach out, which is, good place to be. But there's only so many hours in the day. I just can't surf Reddit. Man, some of the things people write are just so long. Just give the too long didn't read at the top, which is what scientific articles do with the abstract. Let me know what this is about so that I don't have to bust through this crap to get there. Tom Zaki. Yeah, made it to your good show. Good morning from Germany. Welcome, Tom Zock. Michael Harrow, Loving Pets is also cool. Yeah, Loving Pets is cool. Deck P, so Charles III. Are you staying up to watch Coronation? No. Houston, have you heard Peaches by Bowser? I've heard Peaches by the President of the United States of America. Wait. Bowser as in Bowser the Super Mario Brothers. Jack Black as Bowser. So Jack Black singing a song as Bowser doing Peaches. No, I've not heard it yet. I'll check that out. I can't do Lost Waves. I don't know why I can't do reaction vids, because I do reaction vids and all of a sudden I get a copyright strike against me. I don't know how to do a reaction vid and not get a copyright strike against me. So that's, someone knows the magic of how to do that. I would love to know, because the last time I did a reaction was to the Mario Brothers trailer, and then that entire video was useless. I get a copyright strike against me, and YouTube's like, you do that again, you're in trouble. So I don't know what to do. Peachy Sunday, what ghost town would you visit first post Moas, and why is it Dudleytown, Connecticut? I don't know where Dudleytown, Connecticut is. Dudleytown, Connecticut. Boom. Dudleytown Hill, Connecticut. Dudleytown Road, Connecticut. Dudleytown, Connecticut. Let's see what we got here. Dudley Hill, Cornwall, Connecticut. Dudleytown Hill. Not much there. Is there a Dudleytown down here somewhere? We got Dudleytown Hill. Dudleytown. Dudleytown Road, Cornwall Bridge, Connecticut. That's way over here. Dudleytown Road. Is this an abandoned house? This might be abandoned. This looks pretty abandoned. What was here? What was Dudleytown? Huh. And why are people abandoning things? Greenview Building Design Company, the castle at Cornwall. Is a castle here? Huh. Is this the Dudley Town you're talking about? There's a ski area. Mohawk Mountain Ski Area. At 1,300 feet. That's a very tiny ski area. So they can ski from 1,300 feet, 1,400 feet, all the way down to 900 feet. So they got 500 feet of vertical here. Just taking it up there, Mohawk Mountain Ski Area. Just gnarly skiing, that's for sure. Interesting. I never spend much time in Connecticut. I've driven through Connecticut a couple of times, but I've never really spent any time there. Looks like Monkey Butt and I have some adventuring to do. Go check out ghost towns in Connecticut. Oh, Cat's back. Are you back, Cat? Here? Hi. There you are. Come on in. Okay. And we're at 2 hours and change here. But again, it was like 10 minutes where I was off. I had to reset the router. On that thought from us, just play a 12-hour loop of intros for us. Okay. Later, both intros for 12 hours. That'd be amazing. What's up with the Ape documentary? They are airing it on Amazon, the same Amazon that benefited from so many short attacks. Kind of sus, no? I mean, the people who run networks and studios and choose shows and stuff, they just, stuff goes out there, gets sold, and they all buy that one, put it on our service. I don't really think it's like, you know what? I have this plan. I'm going to make a documentary, and I'm going to make it wrong and then put it on my platform so a bunch of idiots believe it. I don't think it really goes that far. I think some dudes made a documentary, sold it, and someone bought it. That's probably how it went. Where did you bury Lou? Can't bury him far. He's got an ankle monitor on. Superplant, hi from India. Hello. Jay, have you ever done research on intermittent fasting? It starts a process called autophagy, where your body self-eats and destroys weak, bad cells. It is cleansing and supposed to be good for health. You know, fasting here and there is probably does some things. The problem is a lot of people take it to the point where it's eating disorder, and then they're just starving. And that's not good. Then your body's just eating everything, and you become unhealthy. You start growing weird body hair and have joint conditions, and you can, your organs start to fail. And just, if you're going to fast here and there, cool. If you're going to fast all the time, then you're anorexic and you need help. Arya Shadow, is the GOP's interest to not raise the debt ceiling now? What would they gain from it if they get into power next round? Keep my cash and CAD and in W8 for USD lower or buy more GME, crash in September. Well, if they don't raise the debt ceiling, the crash will be like June 2nd. So, yeah, not raising the debt ceiling and us defaulting on debt payments as of June 2nd will be the crash. The crash that crashes everything. So there'll be no September to it. September will be full-blown panic by then. So I don't. What the GOP I think is trying to do by threatening to not raise the debt ceiling is to get in some of their little culture war things. They want to end Social Security. They want to end Medicare and Medicaid. So they want to end those three programs, and they're going to try and hold the debt ceiling hostage in order to end those three programs. The thing is that Social Security is who buys the majority of our debt. So the debt that gets created by us having not taxing enough and spending too much gets purchased by Social Security. Social Security holds on to that debt. So you eliminate Social Security, all of a sudden there's no one left to buy most of that debt. Oops. Didn't think about that. But what they really want is they want to force everybody to give all their money to private equity to these hedge funds, and the hedge funds will then run Social Security for us because they get higher returns. They're just gonna fuck everybody over. They'll crash the entire economy, and then everyone's money will be gone. So that's what's gonna happen. That's why you have Social Security put their money into bonds and then just chug along, earning slow interest year over year, because the U.S. always pays its debts until it gets held hostage by a bunch of people. I've been intermittent fasting my whole life without ever knowing it. Ron Johnson, do you do voice acting? Perhaps I can interest you in being the AI voice in the 9-year-old's sci-fi movie. Sure. I will be a robot AI voice. Why not? Oh shit, I'm supposed to record a voiceover for Marius and I totally forgot. I set an alarm and the alarm went off and I was still at work. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll get that when I go home. And then Marius, I'm going to do your voiceover. I promise. I just totally forgot to do it for one of his history videos. Peachy Sunday, Dudley Town is an abandoned little town because everyone in it either died or went crazy. Maybe stay away from this one. Well, that sounds like as fun a town to go to as any, right? I mean, we've got lots of towns of death in the past. Pioche, Nevada had 76 murders before their first natural death. One of the most violent communities to ever form in the world. And in order to reduce the violence, they actually started shipping women from all over the country to come and like marry men in the town to calm them down. But at one time they had, I can't remember if it was 70 saloons and 35 brothels or 70 brothels and 35 saloons. But there was like 6,000 residents in the town and like 100 homes. Because what the miners would do is they'd work all day, working in the mine. You have to like get their pay and it'd be like 15 cents. And they would go to the brothel and they would rent a woman for a night for a nickel. And they would just use that as a place to stay. So they just sleep after having their evening with the woman at the brothel. So they didn't have to like rent a room or buy a house or any of that stuff. They would just sleep at the brothels for a nickel. And they would just drink and fight. And that's just what they did. Horn 33T. Houston, little question here. Are you shocked about that more than 2 years ago, the GME push-up kind of blows up the economy? The house of cards fell, economy almost fall. What's next? Well, the economy still can fall. That's it touches the badness and then bounces back again because the Federal Reserve is pumping it up. So we are just waiting until the Federal Reserve stops pumping it and lets it finally correct, because it needs to correct. Lots of ways. Wants me to do recent old music recordings. Also wants me to do a video about smelt and everything. I need to get Scott to get his crap out of the garage. I am horrified. A friend of mine is moving and she put up a table. She was like, I need to get rid of this table. And Scott was like, I'll take it. And I was like, absolutely not. Not until you get the piano out of my living room and clear out the garage. Only then are you allowed to claim more furniture from people. But not until then. No more furniture, Scott. You have a problem. But yeah, well, once I get some garage space back, we will do it. We will definitely do it. All right. Tom Zock, Houston, the VIX last week was the lowest since November 21. Why is it so low despite the uncertainty with collapsing banks and so on? VIX broken? Maybe time to get VIX calls. That's the stuff that we can't figure out. I mean, the SPY is still crazy high. It should be way lower. And my guess is it's because the stocks that make up the SPY are all companies that are devoting just tens or hundreds of billions of dollars into stock buybacks, artificially inflating the value of their stocks. And that what we need is we need a much more broad index to look at, because not all companies can afford to spend billions of dollars buying back stock. And that's my guess, is that the inverse is just not happening because these companies are still keeping themselves afloat. Horneat. My question is, the Fed prints more money than ever. Is there a chance that MOAS, the US dollar, will devalue? Nothing. Those trillions of dollars move somewhere, but where? Probably into rich people's bank accounts is where they go. They just use it and buy more securities, and then they have more securities. That seems to be what they do. They don't really take that money. Rich people are usually the ones that benefit from this, from the printing. They print the money and give it to banks. Banks give it to rich people buy securities with it. When they did the tax cuts in 2018 for the rich people, we didn't really get any tax cuts at our level. It didn't happen. They discovered that what they did was they bought stocks, or they used the money for stock buybacks and bought even more stocks. So the market went, aha, wee. That just seems to be where it goes. What's VIX in Robinhood? Well, the VIX is VIX. There's UVXY. There's all sorts of different inverse VIX ones. Let's see here. What other ones we got? Okay, scroll all the way down the bottom. VIX. We've got SVXY, UVXY, VXX, VIVX, VIXY, UVIX, SVIX, VVIX. There's others like SVOL and ZVB that are short-term strategy inverse funds. There's quite a few of them, but for the most part, all of them aren't doing much of anything. Yeah. Andrew Dell, my son keeps hitting the phone and removing my messages. Well, there you go. Well, I mean, I'm almost at 2.5 hours here. Well, we can call it a night for the night. I should probably go to bed. Tonight's Friday. Tomorrow and or Sunday, I'll do some Twitch, do some GeoGuessr. Remember, go. If you want to ask me questions in a nice small little stream, head on over to Twitch to what's my Twitch? It's just Houston Wade, I think. Twitch. Yeah, twitch.tv/Houston Wade. When I pop on there, there's usually like 5 to 10 people hanging out. Not right now, it's late. There's only like 60 of you, but not like the couple hundred that will show up for a YouTube show. But come on by, and we'll do some GeoGuessr, and you can marvel at sometimes my incredible ability to figure out where I am in the world just by spinning around and looking. So, yeah, come hang out. Okay. Ron Johnson, do the voiceover for your friend. I do need a voiceover for my friend. Horneat, market makers short the hell out from banks at the final. If there is no money to earn from, why they don't stop now and let it boom? Instead, wait another maybe 1 year and then we'll get our tendies. It's weird because not everybody is shorting. Some people short, some people don't. Some people are trying to go long on stuff and they're trying to protect their companies or whatever. So some of them are shorting too much. And it's big. I think when they start to short the banks, it's because they're running out of good things to short. Because you aren't going to be able to short Microsoft. You're not going to be able to short Amazon. You're not going to be able to short Google. You're going to have to short people who can't fight back as well. And right now, the ones who can't fight back are banks. Deposits are down. They're running for the big banks. There's blood in the water. So that's who they're going for. All right. Mr. Michael, thank you. Great show, as always. Thank you so much. I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. And go to the Twitch and sign up and watch me when I do this. Just get that multi-platform streaming go. All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Ooh, I'll click that one by accident.
Colonizing the moon is a necessity. We need the minerals on the moon to basically power our civilization for the next 10,000 years. So, we're going to do it. We have to do it. Oh, hello.
After Dark 2.0. That's what we got going on. Bye-bye.